their chest tapping or doing the look at me, look what I've done moments in front of the very sailors and officers that we have the privilege to lead. Our sailors and officers need us teaching them. They need us to mentor them, hold them to high standards, set them up for success, and train them to be our reliefs. And doing so in a let's get it done type of way. No pomp, no circumstance, nothing of that nature for us. We should instead celebrate the successes of the people we have under our charge when that is due. This type of leadership is called quiet, humble servant leadership. And nothing earns the chief petty officers more respect than when we execute as quiet, humble, and servant leaders. Number 2, humility. It's a huge CPO competency. I hope you've seen that along your journey. It's a competency that we all must have. Remember that true humility is service to others. It's a service to a cause that's greater than us and our own personal ambitions. I had a great mentor and a friend of mine once tell me, the greatest honor we have is simply to be called the chief. That's why our emblem, the fouled anchor, is so big. And if and when you get the opportunity to earn them, the stars that you will add to it with promotions, that's why they're so small. Never forget that a chief is a chief is a chief. And to all of our chief petty officers, never forget what that greatest honor is. And never forget that if we don't have humility as the foundation of our leadership, we probably have the wrong foundation. Number 3, and lastly, I would like everybody in here to take a moment and think back to the first chief petty officer you've ever had. Many of us would usually talk about them in one of 2 ways. Number 1, a very positive manner, somebody who's influenced you and stands out in your mind as that person. Or number 2, probably not that person. I'm sure you have a few choice words for them. For all of you standing tall in front of us, from this point forward, there's going to be a time when each and every one of you are going to be somebody's first chief. Some of you will have the opportunity to be able to be somebody's first chief on a few occasions. I bring this point up because years down the road, if I was to talk with those sailors and their officers, and I would ask them, how will they talk about you? Hopefully it's for the positives that you're going to bring to the mess and to their development, and not the negatives. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll continue to say each and every day that I can probably wear this uniform. There's no better time than right now to be a chief petty officer in our great United States Navy. Again, congratulations to all of our new chief petty officers standing tall today. You guys have earned it. Very proud of you. Thank you again for letting me hang with you. Enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and take a deep breath, because the real work is about to begin. Is out there, but shipmates, hard work is authorized. Chief hard and earn those anchors each and every day. Thank you for your leadership, your commitment, your service to our great Navy, and thank you again for allowing me to be a very small part of your very big day today. Hoorah. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Chief Toby Ruiz. At this time, our fiscal year 2022 Initiation Co-Lead, Chief Ann Wang, will present a gift of appreciation to Master Chief Toby Ruiz.
Thank you, Master.
Before we get to the much anticipated pinning selectees' attention, about face. We would like to take the opportunity to clarify the importance of the anchors our selectees are about to receive. The presentation of anchors will be read by Senior Chief Joseph Seifert.
fouled anchor is the emblem of the rate of Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy. Attached to the anchor is a length of chain and the letters USN. To the novice, the anchor, chain, and letters only identify a Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy. But to a chief, these have a more noble and glorious meaning. The U stands for unity, which reminds us of cooperation, maintaining harmony and continuity of purpose and action. The S stands for service, which reminds us of our service to God, our fellow man, and our Navy. The N stands for navigation, which reminds us to keep ourselves on a true course so that we may walk upright before God and man in all transactions with all mankind, but especially with our fellow chiefs. The chain is symbolic of flexibility and reminds us of the chain of life that we forge day by day, link by link, and may it be forged with honor, morality, and virtue. The anchor is emblematic of the hope and glory of the fulfillment of all of God's promises to our souls. The golden or precious anchor by which we must keep steadfast in faith and encouraged to abide in our proper station amidst the storm of temptation, affliction, and persecution. Wear them with pride.
Thank you, Senior Chief Seifert. And now, without further ado, let us complete the uniforms of the selectees by pinning on their anchors and fitting them with the cover of the United States Navy Chief Petty Officers. Chief selectees, left or right base. As each selectee is called, will those who will pin and cover them please join their selectee in front of the stage? I ask that you please hold all your applause until all of the new chiefs have been pinned, regrouped, and formally introduced. Bosun, stand by to pipe the newest Chief Petty Officers into the Chief's mess. Bosun, post aside, boys. Chief Select English, front and center. Chief Select English will be pinned by her husband, Paris, and her children, Macy, Nicholas, Indiana, Oliver, and Cora. Presenting her cover is her sponsor, Chief Mike Kincaid. Chief Select English's co-sponsor is Chief Mark Demiuga. Chief, Aviation Electronics Technician Maria English, arriving. Chief Select Lazarte, front and center. Chief Select Lazarte will be pinned by his daughters, Charisma and Victoria, his mother Rachel, and his wife Valerie. Presenting his cover is his father, Roger, and his sponsor and co-sponsor, Chief Nicole Gray and Chief Mark Demiuga. Chief, Aviation Support Equipment Technician, Sir Greg Lazarte, arriving. Chief Select, Summer Hayes, front and center. Chief Select Summer Hayes will be pinned by his son, Jacob, daughter, Layla, and his significant other, Ashley. Presenting his cover is his command senior enlisted leader, Master Chief Martell. Chief Select Summer Hayes' sponsor and co-sponsor are Chief Hi May Rodriguez and Chief Monica Beasley. Chief, Aviation Support Equipment Technician Casey Summerhays, arriving. Chief Select Butler, front and center. Chief Select Butler will be pinned by his wife, Bonnie, and his son, Paul, and his mother, Cindy, who will be attaching an anchor in honor of his grandfather, PHC Richard Cotter, retired, who was unable to attend. Presenting his cover is his sponsor, Chief Gary Bauer. Chief Select Butler's co-sponsor, Chief Ashley Wolfirst.